Why? Why?
So one of the things that's really dicey about this is tipping over the goddamn camera again.
Happy Sunday. We are getting ready to go into another week of projects. Again, just like last time, we have one really big thing and a bunch of little things. I'm Jerry.
I'm Sean, and this is our not currently sailing catamaran, Rome. We've taken on a huge refit involving every system on the boat, turning her into exactly what we want.
Let's jump back into the episode to see what project we're tackling this time.
Found another problem, a likely source of leaking, and that is some screws that were bedded all the way through to the inside of the boat, completely unnecessarily. So let me show you what we've got going on here. I discovered this yesterday while I was cleaning out these deck lockers. Okay, there we go. Can you see that? Right there. I can see two of them, and the other ones go into the forward staterooms. Like right in front of the window, so it's completely hidden. Why? These are holding down the rails where our cushions for the bow slide in, so that we can be all comfy for sundowners. But I'm gonna take them off, clean them up, and then put them back in with shorter screws. Of course, first I've got to drill out these holes and fill them with epoxy. It's never quite as simple as it sounds.
This is the rail that holds the cushions. These are the two screws that I just showed you on the inside right here. 1, 2. And I have to assume that the remaining screws also go all the way through. Let's get this taken care of. Yes, this is yet one more project that was not on the list, that we weren't counting on. And while it won't delay us long, every new project that crops up is at least a few more hours, if not another day. Ew. That's disgusting.
Well, we got these painted, and we got all the holes filled in with thickened epoxy. I guess now we have to put them back. I think let's do this different than they did it before.
Yes, please.
And use screws that aren't going to go all the way through, and use some 4200 to hold it down so that the strength is on the 4200.
So just teeny tiny little screws. I think I like to call these the emotional support screws because I'm pretty sure that anything this tiny is probably pretty useless overall.
That's really what all it's going to be, is emotional support for the 4200.
Right.
Absolutely. I'm going to try to put the back edge down first and squeeze all the goop forward. Then I have less coming out the back and hopefully less mess to manage back there.
In the spirit of trying to close up all the holes, we are going to work on the deck latches. The deck hatch latches. We're going to work on the deck hatch latches. We pulled them out a while ago so that we could clean everything up. They were leaking badly. So we removed everything. We ordered new parts where they needed to be ordered. And now we're ready to put them back in and close up a few more holes in this boat.
Another one of the small jobs we get to do is get our safety rails back up around the helms and down the sugar scoops. There were some major issues with leakage. The starboard side had some screw holes that were stripped out. I really don't like the way it was designed. Really could have been done better. Having a mount inside here makes just no sense at all. Alas, we're not making any changes to it. We're just going to reseal it, put it back together, and make sure we don't have any leaks. I got to tear out a bunch of silicone that I put in to keep the rain out while we had them off, and then put the new hardware in and away we go. Ooh, that came out a lot easier than I expected. Yep, that was probably leaking. I think it's wipe down time, and then we're going to get in the engine rooms and clean out down there. Then I need to clean up the actual hardware itself. All right, I think we've got everything ready to go in. All the tape's on and cut. The legs are taped so that we can easily get those cleaned off. We're gonna use 4200 for this, which is probably technically overkill. I just wanna make sure that we have a really good seal, and a little bit of adhesive probably won't hurt that. Dance. Woo. That is one rail donezo. Everything always takes longer than we think it should or will. And here we are, the sun is down, and I got some cleanup to do, and then we're done with this project.
We're starting to get to the point where the nights are getting cold, and the products we're trying to use have a minimum happy temperature where they cure, things like fairing and paint and fiberglass. So we are very busy this week trying to finish the last of the outside work on the deck where we pulled up the teak. I'll put a link to that episode where I showed you how this teak project has been going on for 2 years now. And we are trying desperately to actually get it finished.
Where the teak used to be, and we have some holes here where the swim ladder used to go in, and I've got to do a real patch on these, and I haven't done a real patch yet. I've just kind of tried to make them watertight to keep the water out, but I've got to do a real patch. I actually don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to try something. I don't know if you can see, but with a little skill saw tilted 45 degrees, and my plan is to cut this at 45 degrees in a circle, so that I have a bigger surface to attach to. And then around the outside, I'll use a router and make it about an 1/8 inch lower, and then cut a piece of 1/8 inch fiberglass to drop into that, and then I'll laminate the whole thing together. So we have what I think will be a really solid patch down in this area. This just has a piece of foam in it, so I gotta do this 2 times. Hopefully, by the second time, I'll get it right.
Go.
That totally worked.
Well, that could be a lot worse. Well, my cut isn't perfect. I can clean it up quite a bit, but I think that's going to give me what I'm after. So that'll be plenty of surface. We're going to use thickened epoxy so it doesn't just drip all over the place. But I think I'm onto something. So there's no really good way to find the center. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of a swag. It's a scientific wild-ass guess. Maybe it's just a wild-ass guess. Yay. Let's make some noise. Well, that went pretty well.
Actually, I think can't hear a thing.
I think you can't hear a thing.
I can't hear a thing. I think it looks great.
Oh yeah, that did just what I wanted. That's great. Is a wrap for now.
It's gonna rain tonight.
We have mostly prepped the engine hatch covers to go back here, right there. Unfortunately, the paint's not going to dry in time. And we're afraid if we put it down as it's curing, it's just going to glue itself to the edge. So I had what I thought was a brilliant idea. And that is to remove this weather stripping that is an absolute catastrophe. We're going to do it anyway. We're putting weather stripping instead on the inside of the hatch cover instead on the edge of the hatch itself. This stuff is an absolute mess. It is, here, this is what the outside looks like. Can't get that clean. Here's what the inside looks like. So it used to be white. It is glued down with, I'm assuming 4200. Getting it off is so hard, and getting it cleaned up is gonna be even harder. But the whole idea behind it was to clean it up so that I would have an edge to put down like the yellow sticky tape from the pressure seal, and then put some plastic over it to protect the engine room from the rain. But I think I might be here until it starts raining, just trying to clean it up. Not perfect. I'm gonna do the best I can, and we'll see how it goes. Oh my God. This is way harder than I expected. I guess just ripping it's the best choice. Ugh. I bet this corner doesn't leak. I cannot get this corner off. Ah. I honestly don't know what I was thinking starting this at 4 o'clock-ish on the first day back to standard time. So the sun's gonna go down around 6:30. 2.5 hours is not enough time to finish this. I'm gonna be working in the dark. Today we're back at it, and we have 5 days to get the paint down. So today is fairing, tomorrow is sanding, and then from there we prime and paint. Or at least that's the plan. We're gonna tag team this. I'm gonna make small batches, and then while he applies, I'm gonna make the next small batch. There's a lot to do. My hands and my wrists are going to be very uncomfortable by the time this process is over, but we are going to push through and get it done. Why? Because we have no choice. Bye.
Bye.
Well, there's good news and there's less good news. Let's start with the good news. The good news is that all the fairing that we did yesterday actually hardened. We were really concerned that it wouldn't cure. It was too cold overnight. We had dew as usual. And the instructions say that it can't get wet or drop below 50 degrees for 24 hours. Less good news is that our work days are getting shorter. So I'm feeling like whatever we do that needs time to cure can only be done until midday. The hope today is that we can get all of this fairing sanded and get a coat of primer on. That would be ideal. I don't know if we're going to manage that. We've got a lot to sand. So
we'll do the best we can. I'm ready to start priming. This is the first project that I feel like we are really settling. We are settling for just doing enough to get out, knowing that we're gonna have to redo it. At this point, we simply need to slap something on these surfaces that will protect the fiberglass and allow us to move on to warmer climates where we won't be hampered by weather quite as much. Maybe by the time we get to one of those warmer climates, we'll have figured out what we're gonna do. But for now, primer. Okay, let's mix some paint and get this thing done. That's it. I've painted everything I could paint today. I mixed a little too much paint on that second round, but I can't think of anything else to paint. So this is just gonna have to be trash. But it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. So tomorrow, second coat goes on starboard side and transom alley. Third coat goes over here on port. And that's Friday. And then Saturday, we'll put the third coat on starboard and the transom alley. And then we will be ready for rain. We will have made it. Thank God. But shit, where do I put this? Project is done. The tape is off. Looks pretty good. It is really, really hard to consider this project done. And I would really rather just say it's done for now. This one was so hard. We had a really hard time getting the teak off in the first place and then figuring out how to clean it up and get the adhesive that was left over off. Just every bit of it from start to finish has been unbelievably hard. And we took so long deciding what to do with it and how to manage it that we didn't leave ourselves enough of a window to actually finish the painting. That is hard to swallow. At this point, we have 3 coats of epoxy base coat primer on all the surfaces. So they are protected. It is a matte finish, so it won't be horribly slippery, or so we hope. And when we get to Kirikou, we are scheduled to haul out in June so that we can do bottom paint. Yeah, that will be a little soul crushing as well to haul out again so soon. When we're doing the bottom paint, we will also revisit the places that we put primer on this go around. Hopefully, we will wet edge all the spots that are supposed to be shiny and then use Sailboat Total Tread to put some non-skid on the surfaces that should be non-skid. Until then, we will be extra careful not to slip and fall off the boat because that would really ruin our whole day and more. But until then, this one's done. I'm gonna check it off the list. We're gonna leave this episode here. We have accomplished our #1 priority, so we can erase it from the list. Bye. Yes, that painting is done. We also got a whole bunch of other things done. It was a really good week. Our big priority for next week is probably installing the sail drives. That's pretty exciting. We hope you'll join us. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit that button It's a completely free way to help our channel grow and encourage YouTube to push our content out to other viewers who might find it interesting. And if you've made it here to the very, very end, drop us an emoji in the comments. Anything but the poop. See you next time. Bye.